Okay, I want to start this off by sharing that I woke up today 100% believing that Hunter Schafer and Phoebe Bridgers were doing some sort of collab. Obviously, having woken up, that was a dream. Did I really know the specifics? No, but I just saw both of their faces and I was just really excited in the dream, you know. What else was I doing in the dream? Anywho, that's not the point of this. My name is Nixon, and for the sake of this video, that's all you really need to know about me. Let's just get right into it because time is of the essence. We gotta, okay? Short answer, the show. Long answer, from when I turned 18 up until this point now, I'm in my early 20s. Since I was in high school trying to write scripts and do filmmaking, I've always focused more on things that were more realistic, real life, but I was more concerned about showing real life. And now from just reflecting on how I consume media and what media is being pushed out now in 2026, I think it's imperative that we as a collective, whether it be people who are part of the community or are near and dear to people who are in the community, I think it's important now that we set precedents, if that makes sense. After watching Heated Rivalry 3 times in full, I kind of just started to mesh this idea I had making a show. Basically, the main character would be a black woman, queer black woman. Hello. That was basically a concept I was playing around with for a couple years. And then when I watched Heated Rivalry, off bat ignited the question, where is this for lesbians? And for me, especially now understanding the importance of seeing yourself reflected in media, a specific, honest, good faith way. So where's the black lesbian love or sapphic love or just two black women, not necessarily even just cisgendered women? Where is that explored? That is something I want to see. I find so much value in that, not just for what it would do for me, what it would do, honestly, for black people and black women as a whole, not even just queer people. Yeah, I was like, you need to stop with gay men. Like, you need to put them down. Like, this really started, girl. It started with falsettos, Rip William Finn, if you know, you know. And like, oh, fellow travelers, people were not seeing me for weeks after I watched that. All of this to say is that when it comes to a lot of queer media, I think it's more so male, white, centric, focused, and we're not having any of that. Because the thing I know about what's happening in this country I reside in, we call it the United States, is like, if this is how the government is showing what they think of us, and then I'm also in Southern California, so if this is what Hollywood wants to show us, then goddamn it, we're gonna have to do it ourselves. It reminds me of being a kid, not to get personal on y'all, but it reminds me of me being a kid and waiting for the person who was going to save me, or the person or the people that were going to fix the main problems in my childhood. Newsflash, it never happens. I think I've gotten to a point creatively where I don't think looking to outside sources or institutions is actually going to make the show, series, project I want to make. In knowing that, I just decided that if I'm going to make this show, if I'm going to start with this script and start building this world, it's going to be the most authentic, the most potent, because at this point, why would you censor anything? At this point, that's just me speaking. Okay, so what I have so far. I'd have to check my computer. I didn't check before filming this, but I think I have 30 pages of the pilot down. I still have to go through those pages and I still have to write. I'm pretty much like halfway through it because I know I want to make this. Each episode's gonna be about an hour, dramedy, drama comedy. So that's all I have with the script. I'm not gonna show that for the sake of not just giving away my ideas, but just know there is a script. I'm also not gonna put the name, the working title of the show. I'm gonna be very deliberate about the information I share, because obviously there are thieves, there are people that will take something and spin it another type of way. So I'm just gonna be very, you know, like maybe not the specific dialogues and the specific, but I want to show you something to kind of get an idea of what I'm kind of going for. Well, I think I'll start from literally my beginning. Started by writing those pages, which I told you about, and then I just was like, okay, I need to start trying to build these characters that, yes, may look like me, but are not me. So I just started sketching. Mind you, I'm not a visual artist. I'm more like writer, songwriter, screenwriter. That is more of where I am in the creative diaspora. But I just felt moved to just start sketching like what was in my mind. So I'm just gonna show, obviously on the screen, these are going to be the two main characters. Again, I'm not going to show their names or anything. As these videos go on in this channel, I will reveal more information. Again, wait till the end of the video and I'll get to why I'm even making this video. But these are what the characters look like. And you know, I kind of feel like just giddy to show anyone this. Maybe I'm just making this video just to show off my skills. Who knows? I have it right in front of me, so I'm just looking at them now. And this is what I had for my first storyboarding. Even, I feel like with screenwriting, I was always stuck to the writing process, so I've never got to storyboarding. But this was just like some rough ideas I had for shots in my mind. So basically, what I'm working with in terms of the synopsis, the plot, it's basically going to be these two black women, these two queer black women who have met each other in Southern California. It's basically about them finding each other and growing, not just them like growing their love and falling in love and just romance. But I think why I bring heated rivalry into this, and I'm not talking about like falsettos or fellow travelers, anyone in the queer community can see why that is different than those other projects. But with heated rivalry, I think what made it so compelling to me was the build up to where they got, you know? It made me think about Abbott Elementary and how, let's be real, we know Janine and Gregory are endgame. We knew that from the pilot. But if Quinta had just shown them getting together in the first season, it wouldn't have hit the same. I think it's the build up, it's the seeing of these two characters' dynamics, and also the dynamics of the people around them. Now, yeah, I'll get that to later videos, the supporting characters, but these will be the two main characters, you know. Not to reveal too much of the plot, but this character is going to be a classical prodigy. They are just obsessed with classical music. It's their whole life. They live, they breathe it. So a lot of the show the world I'm trying to create in this show is a lot of music creatives. That's like one side of it. Through the lens of this character who is working with a bunch of, you know, people in the classical field and try to navigate that. And then the other main character, she is a recent graduate with a STEM degree. So she has just finished school. She kind of was focused on that a lot of the time. And now she's transitioning into the first real job, what it means to not be in a school environment, to really be on your own. And so in different ways, I think these characters are kind of going through the same thing, and that's what draws them together. Yeah, I think that's all I want to share in this video because it's the first and I want to make sure I don't give too much away. There's just so much I want to do down the line with this series, just to kind of take us back to how shows and series used to run, you know? Streaming. Oh, remember when streaming didn't exist? Let's move on. Why am I making this video? So yeah, I think that's like, you should answer that question whenever you make a YouTube video, because, you know, I have this idea, I know how to write, I know how to do these things, like why not just do it myself? It goes back to what I was saying before of how, even when I was in high school, I knew Hollywood was a certain type of way. I didn't expect to like go there, and I wasn't naive to that degree. I guess I kind of had this feeling that like if it was good enough, it would make a way. But then now reflecting on how other projects have been made, and really phenomenal projects, I've heard, not getting the same, it's just like signaling to me. And I also was listening to the Strap Down, shouts out to them, because they were a pivotal part in me just like amping myself up. You have to make it yourself. But the thing is, you don't have to do it alone. Whenever it came to music or screenwriting, yes, I did those things alone, but only because I was in an environment where no one really was taking those things serious to the degree I was. But now being in a very creative city, now without saying anything explicitly, because like I need at least some people to see this goddamn video, you know, some people, it's just signaling to me that it's going to take work to make this, and I'd rather put the work into finding the people that actually want to make this than putting in the work of trying to please suits or trying to please people to get, to get like a mundane or a toned down version, you know? And to answer the question, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm looking for people like me. I'm looking for screenwriters, cinematographers, camera people, audio people, anyone in the creative field. And my only constraints are that you're a woman, or a woman of color, or queer, and maybe Gen Z. I'm not gonna be too like about the age, cause girl, like girl, I'm like, this, you know, there's only so many of us, so like let's not with the age. But I do want to make this series kind of geared towards my generation. That's why I'm thinking, not that anyone older couldn't be a part of this project. Let that be known. Yeah, I'm looking for mainly queer Black women, but understanding that there's only so much of us and so much of us that are creatives and want to do stuff like that. But women of color, queer people, I am calling on y'all. If this excites you in any way, or you're like, this is cool, something you want to work on casually, you want to whatever, I'm going to just be mainly just workshopping this on this channel, getting more into it. I kind of just want to build a small community of people that really want to make this project come to fruition. It won't be through YouTube. I'll probably make a Discord or something like that, and then I'll be able to communicate with y'all. I want to meet with you in person. You know, we can make a writer's room. We can have an editing room. You know, I really am feeling so inspired, and that's something you have to hold on to till, you know, you go through a dry spell and then you get inspired again. It's a cycle. People have talked about it. So this video, and I'm gonna make a video every week, just talking, sharing more ideas, sharing more details. Yeah, I can't wait to reveal the title because I think it's really sick, but that's down the line. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you got into this point, leave comments about any sapphic, lesbian shows, movies, you know, women of color, like white women. Love your sister, but it's always y'all, you know, it's always y'all. But speaking of that, you know, to start off the chat, A League of Their Own, I would get up, but I don't want to ruin what I've done here. It took me a minute to set this up, but ooh girl, that was also inspiration of like, oh, we need to see this shit through. Because when I saw that show, don't get me started on Darcy, bro. Don't. In another video. But recommend any media, and it doesn't even have to be shows or movies. It can be comic books, it can be art pieces. I love art, as you can see. I'm trying to get into it, okay? Just leave that down in the comments. Share this video with any creative you know, even if it's a makeup person, even if it's just someone that's been through some lesbian bullshit. Like, you don't have to have any credentials. Girl, like, look at this. That's all. I hope you have an okay day. I hope you stay safe, of course, because we want to end the vibes right. Fuck ICE, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, and power to the people, you know? The only thing we gotta lose is our chains, you know? Just know that's the type of crowd I'm trying to attract. Yeah, just stay safe. We're all in this together. You know the reference, it's corny, but yeah, okay. Till next time, take care. I need to take a drink. This is legit water, YouTube. Like, if this was a White Claw, I'd be honest.